We're in London on an unexpected, unplanned day. Dan's here, the girls are here. And I was going to film a little in-betwixtmas vlog anyway, so I thought we'll start in London. We're off to Harrods. Did I say that funny? Harrods. We're off to Harrods.
This style of training years. That's what I'm saying. You can take advantage of being here by going to the
So we're here at Harrods. We're having a look at the Christmas windows that look like gingerbread. You can just see them behind me here. It's beautiful, but it's busy. So this is the pub where I used to work, girls. Yeah, Leicester Arms. I worked here for quite a few years actually. So we're now taking the girls to a couple of the places that we went when Dan and I visited here just before Vlogmas. So we came for our anniversary for a little day out. So I've just shown them the pub where I used to work, but we didn't go in because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're now walking up and we're going to take them to Liberty's, and then we're going to go and look at the lights on Carnaby Street. And we're just taking it bit by bit and making it up as we go along. And Phoebe has treated herself, and so is Lilia. So they both have Harrods bags. I wonder if they'll have Liberty's bags as well. They're spending their Christmas and birthday money, and well, Lilia's spending her hard-earned money.
Yes, I deserve it. I deserve all of this.
Ready? Oh, you want to go through the lions? Here we go. And look up. Hello, it's New Year's Eve. I've been filming a little bit off and on over the last few days just to give you a very small idea of our little in-between time. The Crimbo Limbo, as I've often called it in the past, or Betwixtmas, as I've heard more recently, which I really like. That kind of silent, confusing time in between Christmas and New Year, which when I was growing up was actually a really exciting time because we had this kind of come down from Christmas being over, but Hogmanay or New Year's Eve was a really big part of our annual celebrations because I come from a Scottish family. Both my parents are Scottish. Well, my dad was Scottish and my mum is Scottish. And Hogmanay was a big thing. It was bigger than Christmas for them growing up, and we always met up with friends of theirs, also from Scotland, who lived down in the southeast, and had a party every year. They took it in turns, so it was a really exciting time. Looking forward to that. So I've never lost the feeling of always wanting to see in the new year. I would never go to bed before midnight. I would always stay up to ring in the new year with my family and follow our little family traditions. So we'll certainly be doing that tonight, even though yet again I have not been feeling well. I don't know what is wrong with me this December. So I kicked the awful cold, and in the last few days I've just had the most grinding headache and just feeling really blah and just not with it at all. So I don't know if it's that kind of thing that you get when you finally relax. It could possibly be that. I don't feel awful, and today has been wonderful. We've spent the whole day watching, Phoebe had a friend over for a sleepover, so they've been hanging out in her room, and Dan and Lilia and I watched the second in the Knives Out series, which is The Glass Onion. Just got 10 more minutes of that to watch, so it's been brilliant. But I wanted to have a little chat with you before we end this vlog about a couple of the bits that I got for Christmas. So if you were following along with my Vlogmas, you would have seen me every day opening my beautiful advents from Bumblebee Acres Fibre Farm. And there was a main skein for Christmas Day, which of course I saved for Christmas Day, and I wanted to show you it so you've seen the whole thing in its completeness. So the final skein, and this was Bridgerton themed, was flawless, my dear. There's the name of it. On their coquette sock base, which I really love. There's their gorgeous little, I want to say icon. It's not, is it? Their gorgeous little logo, that's the name. Look at this, it's just so plump and squishy. Oh, and look at that bit there, that speckly bit of orange and pink. Oh, I just can't wait. So I'm going to lay all this out together with all the advents and just see what it inspires me to make. A project that I will absolutely adore making, and also something that I know I will wear a lot. I think that's going to be a theme of my making in 2023, is to not get swayed by the things I think I want to make, but stick to the things that I know I will love wearing or using. I also wanted to share the fact that I finished my Christmas cross stitch, and this little project, it's still off centre in the hoop, but this little project has really got me hooked onto cross stitch. I loved every second of making this. Look at that. And I think I'm going to get another one of her mandala projects because I loved making it, and I love how it looks now it's finished. So this is by, is it The World or A World? I think it's The World in Stitches on Etsy. Although I actually bought this on eBay as a little kit. And I will put all the details to it underneath in the description box. I will be talking about this and various other things on my upcoming podcast, my knitting and crochet podcast on my other channel, which is Little Drops of Wonderful, in January. But I just wanted to show you because I know a lot you would have been following along with me making this during Vlogmas. So happy with that, and I've really discovered a new love in this kind of modern style cross stitch. I love these colours in particular. I'm going to embrace this kind of thing in the coming year. I'm going to do a video about, like I did last year, where I talked about habits that did and didn't work over the past year and what I intend to do for the future year coming. And that's going to include, you know, books and things to do with the seasons and tracking, list making, crafts, everything really that I found either helpful or not helpful in the past year, and I'm going to definitely do that again this year. I will link that video underneath to give you an idea. I also want to share another Christmas present. This was a Christmas present from Dan. Again, God, I don't know what's happened to me. It's a cross stitch, and it is, I'm so excited to work on this. So unfortunately, so this is a lovely cross stitch kit. So you get everything you need, from the felt for the back to the Ada, the threads, the hoop, the needle, everything in the kit. And it is from Hoops and Crosses. Okay, if you can hear a funny buzzing noise, it's the pump for the shower that's in the loft room above me. Lilia's just having a shower. And there's not a finished picture of what the cross stitch will look like, but they did include a print of the illustration that inspired it. Now the illustration is by Little Geeky Monkey, who is Gary Ralphs. I'll show you his details. There we go. That's all his details. So I believe it was him that did the illustration. Yeah, illustration, animation, sarcasm. And this is the illustration that Hoops and Crosses took and created a cross stitch. It's not an exact match of this, but it's going to be very, very similar. And it's a full coverage cross stitch, which I've never done before because I've never done much cross stitch at all before. So that is going to be my next project. And I can't wait to get that started and share my progress on the podcast. And that was a really lovely present. I'm so happy with that. Yeah. So that's a little glimpse into a couple of the things I got for Christmas. We don't go mad on Christmas presents for the adults, and I prefer it that way. Another feature of the coming year for me, I spoke a bit in Vlogmas about how I struggle a lot with clutter, and one of the focuses of 2023 is going to be to really clear out. I've been saving a lot of stuff on Pinterest about decluttering and what constitutes clutter. I'm quite a sentimental person, so I do keep things that are sentimental, and that's fine, but I do have a lot of stuff as well, particularly in the crafting zone, that I need to really think about, and yeah, think about how I'm going to manage that and how I'm going to minimalise that and so on. So I'm really excited to share that journey because I think it's going to be a really creative one in 2023 as I do that. I've also been doing some stats, which I shall talk about in my next video or the video afterwards, for my reading and audiobook listening in 2022, and I have summarised it. I even had a little spreadsheet, so I know exactly how many books I read, how many audiobooks I listened to, which is a lot, and how many hours of audiobooks I listened to. I was quite tempted to actually work out how many pages of books I read, and I might do that yet, but I'm going to include that when I'm sort of looking ahead or either reviewing the past year or looking ahead, or both in the same video. So look out for that. Also, in January, I always do a vlog about Burns Night. We always celebrate Burns Night, which is the birthday of Robert Burns. Well, this is turning into a what to expect in 2023 video, isn't it? And my mum, the last couple of years, has read a part of a poem by Robert Burns, who's one of her favourite poets. And she's already decided this year, she actually said to me over Christmas that she's going to read from Auld Lang Syne, which I have to say is one of my favourite songs of all time. And I've chosen a version of that song to end this vlog, and I'd like to play the whole version for you. It's from Epidemic Sound, and it is by, oh my brain, what's the name of the band? Hang on a minute, please hold. Is it Loving Caliber? Hang on, let's look it up. Loving Caliber, Loving Caliber, Loving Caliber. Yes, so it's the version by Loving Caliber, which I shall try to find a link to on Spotify or something, so I can link it underneath, because I think it really is a beautiful version of the song, and it's going to be the perfect song to play out on this sort of little New Year's end of 2022 vlog. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this little day out in London, and then you will have seen me as well just tidying up some of the decorations and sort of putting some nice little decorations on the mantelpiece to take us over New Year and into January. I love to have candles and lights and twinkly things around in January. It is literally one of my favourite months of the year. I know a lot of you struggle with January, the darker months and the dreariness after all the celebrations that go on in midwinter. So make sure you join me here, because you will find a lot of positivity about the season here, and hopefully we can get you through it together until spring starts to poke through. And one of the books I'll be talking about, actually, when I'm talking about habits for the year to come, not wanting to give too much away, is the Forager's Calendar, which was a gift from my lovely friend Ali, who clearly knows me well, and I want to talk a little bit about this book. But for now, I will wish you, by the time you watch this, a welcome to 2023 and Happy New Year. Let's see what lies ahead.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne.
We've changed location. We're at my mum's bungalow.
Aesthetic mirror filming.
And so our next door neighbours are away.
Ooh,
And their teenage daughter decided to throw a massive party.
without parent permission.
But
I would
luckily,
never.
we have a very cosy, I look so tired.
The
Lovely place where we can go. My mum is away. She's down at one of our very favourite places in the world, Westgate-on-Sea, with her friend for New Year's Eve, which she does every year, apart from when it was the pandemic. And so we've come to her bungalow, with her permission, to have a nice quiet New Year's Eve here. So we've
But it's not
continued
quiet
our
'cause I'm
game
here.
night in my mum's bungalow, and now we're going to put on the telly and watch the sort of end of year BBC thing with Sam Ryder. And as my mum would wish, I've put on all her lovely candles with her decorations. Happy New Year, everybody. I think this means that we're starting 2023 by being grateful for what we have.
I'm grateful for the Tuesday.
I'm not sure that's the view that everybody else wants to end 2022 on, though.
My backside.
Do you have any wise words for everybody as we approach 2023?
What, me?
I do.
What's your... Hang on, let's go. Hang on. I can't wait.
I got pressure now, earlier.
Well,
Okay, so if you ever feel like really
sorry.
surprised and shocked and overwhelmed, you have to think about how the person who heard a parrot talk for the first time felt.
Watch more Christmas films and get your nails done more.
6 words. Eat well, cook lots, be kind.
Nice. Cook lots.
Live, laugh, love.
My dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk